I love that end part where we just sit there silently.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth McLeod, the author and illustrator of the Wild Woman Mystery Cards.
And I'm Sarah Sahota, and I'm a life artist.
And we're here today, we're talking about the different ways of using cards and guidances and tools and prayer we've talked about, and what do we do when we have some questions that we want answered, or some guidance that we need, or some empowerment that we're looking for, or some way of finding our way in the world that makes it just a little bit easier. One of the ways that we can do that is by using cards, and that's what we're going to be using today, the Wild Woman Mystery Cards, an enchanting journey to your true self. And we have the card deck here, and we were actually talking about what makes us thrive as women and the many different options that we have. And I'm sort of thinking about what does it mean to be a wild woman? What does it mean to sort of be yourself anyways?
Yeah.
So when somebody says, well, I just want to be myself, what the heck does that mean?
Yeah.
How do you do that?
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just sort of getting some direction on your path, and maybe you go to somebody to see somebody to be coached or talked to, or in therapy or group therapy or groups or workshop or community or women's circles. There's so many different ways of doing that, and sometimes it's your own tools with your own self. It's through meditation. And sometimes we use things like cards and meditation, or cards and oils, or different things, or mantras. Yeah. So we're just sitting here talking about all of these kinds of things, saying, well, what does it mean to be a wild woman?
Yeah, wow, what a big open-ended question. I hear two different questions almost, what does it mean to be wild, and what does it mean to be a woman? And for me, while they go together so beautifully, they're also very distinct. And for me, being myself began when I understood that there's no way that I am. And there's no set way. I don't have to be any way that I've created myself to be. And then it was the inquiry with guidance over and over again, literally moment to moment. Who am I? Who am I going to be in this situation? How do I be a mother? How do I be a wife? How do I be a daughter? How do I be a teacher? How do I be a student? How do I be a friend? How do I create community? For me, being a woman, really, it's important I think anyways, for me, being a woman is about being community. When we say it takes a village to raise a child, I think we can just drop the to raise a child part. It takes a village. And women especially thrive in community and together.
And it's really hard to stay on your path, because society, the collective consciousness, kind of draws you into the way that they want you to be.
Yes.
So you're always, it's like, I don't want to be put in a box. And it's very hard to find your way to navigate the path of what it means to be you.
Yes.
For me, it's that untamed place. It's like not living by rules. Like maybe it's funny. It's a funny thing. Remember when my father was very ill, he was dying, he was going in for surgery. My brother was there, and I'm quite different. We're very much the same, but I'm quite different in my perspective of views and where I break the rules. Yeah. I'm very colored. He's very black and white. Yeah. So, and it's all good. We all have our own ways of being. But we were in the hospital, and my father was going in to have his brain surgery done. And there was a big sign down this hall, there was a waiting room, and then there was this big sign that says, no pedestrians beyond this point. Right. And I didn't even think about it. I just walked past that sign with the orderly and my father and walked down, because he was going to surgery. I walked down into the aisleway. And my brother stopped at the back, and he looks at me and he's like, why are you going down there? I'm like, my father's having surgery, so is yours. Come. He can't. The sign says don't. And I looked and I got it. He was being very respectful of what needed to happen in the hospital. But I looked at the orderly, and I said, is it okay? Yes. And I turned back and said, that sign is so that the average Joe walking in the waiting room
Yeah.
and down the ordinary hall
Yes.
doesn't come down the hall that goes towards surgery.
Yes.
It's just basically saying, hey, you're not supposed to go this way. But it doesn't mean that it's for me and for you, because our father's going in for surgery. And so it was very interesting because my brother thought about it, and I said, so you can do what you want, but I'm going down with Dad.
Mm.
And he looked and I said, and that's how I read that sign.
Yeah.
And I could see him thinking,
Yeah.
and I looked at the orderly and I said, is it all right? And he said yes.
Mm.
And so then my brother came. But I had already processed that. I'm not going to do something that's going to harm someone else.
Yes.
And certainly if I made a mistake, I guess I would be corrected.
Yes.
But that untamed place in me was, my father needs me right now,
Yes.
and I need to walk down this aisle with him
Yes.
and be with him. So it's like, what signs do you follow?
Yeah.
And what signs do you not follow? So it's sort of like, that's where the
Oh,
cards
yeah.
and things like this can come in handy. You know, you can use these as tools to navigate you. Like the oils, for example, can bring your, because they're so primal, right? Scent is so primal. Can bring you right back to like the realness without having all the chatter in your brain.
Yeah.
And the cards can bring you back to that kind of a place too. It's like, what does it mean? I'm going to pull a card because I'm going to ask the question, what does it mean to be untamed and wild?
Yeah.
So I'm just going to pull a card. Sacredness.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't it? Yeah. Well, you know, I think you say so much in that story, like really so much.
Mm-hmm.
Really so much about how people live life. My mom used to say rules are suggestions.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, don't do anything, don't break any rules that harm other people.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that would be really the rule. Don't harm yourself, don't harm someone else.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And it's a sacred space because it's very vulnerable.
Well, what if this card speaks? It says, what if you just live as if the sacred in all life matters?
Yes.
So if you like sat there and say, okay, like I'm living as if the sacred in you matters. I'm living as the sacred in you matters. I'm living as the sacred in me matters.
Mm-hmm.
This card in the 12 Wild Women Freedoms that with the healing system that I've developed, this one is the heart chakra.
Mm-hmm.
And the blend, I have to say, I adore. And it just takes you right back into, let's just, you know. Yeah. If you like a smell, do you want to have a smell? What would you like some on?
Yeah.
And you can put it right on your heart too, even. But what it sort of, when you think about that, it's sort of like it bypasses the brain and it goes right into us, and we live sacredly.
Yeah. And you know, when it comes down to, you know, do you be the pedestrian that crosses the line or do you be the pedestrian that waits here?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think when we hold all life as sacred,
Mm-hmm.
then we bring the consideration. Am I holding the hospital sacred? Am I holding the patient sacred?
Exactly.
Am I holding
Beautiful.
myself sacred?
Am I holding my brother sacred?
Yes.
Because he's making his choices too. It's all good, right?
Absolutely.
But where is that untamed place for you? Where is the place that makes you be walking the path that you want to walk?
Yeah, and that's scary sometimes, you know, because it opens us up to the judgment of others. It opens us up to your perception of what's sacred, my perception. It has us be confronted. It has us sometimes be in conflict. And that is such an integral part of being human.
Totally. And we're all different. We hold different truths.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's when we're walking in the sacred and when we're thinking about what does it mean to be wild? And this is a conversation that will continue.
It's such a good
But for
one.
today, it's like living as if the sacred in all life matters. Just think about even just eating your dinner tonight like that. I think maybe we could leave with the poem that I've written in the front about the wild woman, if that may work.
Please.
So it says here, it's sort of when we're sort of walking in that path, when we're being that wild woman, we're really talking about the divine within us and living according to that place. Yes, we live in a world that needs to be, you know, but the wild woman, she can have 1 foot in the box, 1 foot out of the box, both feet in, and then jump right out.
Yes.
I mean, you know, she just, you maneuver like in the wild, you know. I have two cats, and one cat goes out like, Riley's like, she's outside like this, like she's like really wild and out there, and she's wild.
Yeah.
The other one's an indoor cat, and she doesn't get that there's some stuff that can hurt her out there, and she walks out the door like, my other cat will come and put her back in because she knows she's not safe, right? It's just a different way of living.
Absolutely.
So I don't know why I went off on that tangent, but
That's
I just was
we
thinking
do that
about the
for each
wild,
other
right?
too, and we are all that different versions.
Yeah.
Some of us do better in the
Yeah.
in the dangerous places or the
Dangerous.
raw places,
Yeah.
or some of us have a better radar in those spaces, you know, and we're better equipped.
Yeah.
But it is also our job to hold everyone sacred and to make sure, like Riley and Daisy, you know, that we kind of scoot Daisy back in the that we look after
and
everybody.
Riley was looking after her. Right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So when we look at that, we go, okay, so the wild one is in the very beginning. There's a little poem that I've written here, and many people, we have it on greeting cards and things because people like to put it by their beds with the prayer. Anyways, here it says, today, the divine burst in my wild woman, and I fell in love with my true self. Being all she can be, being all that she is, being every single moment. Wild woman, woman of deep passion, woman of big dreams, woman of compassionate heart, wild to the core. She stands ready for her soul to speak its truth. And that's really what we're trying to figure out, right? What does it mean to be yourself?
Yes.
Like speaking our truth. But what does that mean? Well, you can speak your truth and really hurt someone.
Oh, yeah.
And maybe that's not the right thing. Maybe it needs to be kindness, or maybe it needs to be deeper than what that truth you see that as. That's part of the wild. But speaking your truth, then you're in alignment.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, like, what I hear is like speaking truth versus speaking your truth. It's like sometimes we say like, well, that shirt's really ugly. Well, that's my truth.
Yeah.
You know, and it's
And
like
it's hurtful.
truth doesn't include ugly.
No.
You know, like truth.
Well, maybe it does, or maybe it doesn't. But why would you say something like that?
Yeah,
if you're really
absolutely.
being that wild. Oh my gosh, this is such a big conversation.
Truth
but
would say that looks better. You know, like you know, it doesn't come from that place of negativity. I think truth, the word's standing on its own anyway.
Yes, and I think we should really have some more conversations about that, the negativity and the positivity, and what does that mean, and all of that, because it's really important. This is like a little snippet into what this could mean, and hopefully it's given some food for thought for. It certainly has for me.
Yeah, me too.
And that we can share that, and that others will share with us what that is for them.
Yeah, we can't wait to go into this one.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you very much, and we'll see you later, Wild Woman.
Bye.
Bye. Hi, I'm Elizabeth, and I'm the author of the Wild Woman Mystery Cards, and I'm here with the lovely Sarah Sahota. Isn't she gorgeous? And we're really excited that you dropped in to see the show. Hop on over to shop.wildwomanenchanted.com. That's WOMAN. So one woman at a time, we change the world. You'll find over there even more to support you and help you and bring you confidence, lift your mood, and just help to hold you in the space as you travel through whatever it is that you're doing on your wild journey. You can see malas there. We have the wrist malas made with specific gemstones, actually beautifully put together. They're actually alive, these gemstones, so they can really hold the vibration for you as you work through whatever it is you're going through. If you need more confidence, then wear that one, the warrior one, or if you need more intuition connection with that place in you, then there's one for intuition. Feel free to go on over and see which one resonates with you, or if something today resonated for you, then go on over to the store and find what you need to make your life even better. Also, there are earrings. Earrings go with the malas. They all have symbols like the malas do. The thing about symbols that's really great is that symbols really work with your subconscious. So it's a wonderful way to get even more from what you're doing. So you can have the gemstone and the symbol, and you can have the earring or the earring and the mala, or just whatever works for you, really. All work individually and all work together. We also have essential oils, which are all organic and very special blends made specifically for the Wild Woman Mystery Cards, as are the malas and the earrings and all the other products in the store. You will find that the essential oils are beautiful blends put together. What's gorgeous about them is it bypasses the chatter in our mind and just goes to that real primal place, that wild place, that untamed place, and it can lift you up in a matter of seconds. It can change your mood, it can help your pain, it can really give you a better clue on where you are and how grounded you can be. So take a look at the oils. You can get them all together, you can get them separately, whatever works for you. If you resonate, trust yourself, Wild Woman, and do whatever it is that makes you feel more at home with yourself right now, in your body, in your world, in your life. Many, many blessings to you, and take good care.